Hey there, amazing English learners. Welcome back to English Made Easy, the place where we break down the English language into bite-sized, easy-to-digest pieces. My name is Eleanor, and I'm super excited to be your guide today. Our goal here, always, is to make learning English as simple and natural as breathing. We want to equip you with the words, the phrases, and the confidence to express yourselves in any real-life situation. And trust me, by the end of our chat today, you'll not only understand how to use some fantastic new vocabulary, but also when and why to use it, just like a native speaker. So lean in, relax, and don't be shy. Even if you're just whispering to yourself, try to repeat after me. Let's get that natural rhythm down together.
And I'm David, happy to be joining Eleanor today. You know, sometimes learning a new language can feel like climbing a mountain, right? But here at English Made Easy, we're more about giving you a gentle hike through a beautiful park. Today, we're going to talk about something that's not just fun, but also incredibly rich with culture and vocabulary: Halloween. You might think it's just about candy and costumes, but there's so much more to uncover. And as we chat, we'll naturally bump into some really useful words and phrases. We'll talk about what they mean, how they sound, and how you can use them in your everyday conversations. No boring textbooks here, just real talk, real English.
Exactly, David. And what's great about a topic like Halloween is that it's so visual, so full of experiences. It's not just about memorizing definitions, it's about connecting words to feelings, to memories, to actual things you see and do. Think about it. When you see a spooky spider web or a carved pumpkin, those images automatically link to the words we'll discuss. It's a powerful way to make new language stick in your mind. We're going to dive into what Halloween means to people, how folks get ready for it, the amazing characters you see, and all the fun things everyone does. And trust me, these aren't just Halloween words. Many of them are super common and can be used in lots of different situations. So let's get started. David, what's your very first memory of Halloween? Was it something grand or something small but significant?
Oh, Eleanor, that's a great question to kick us off. My first real memory, it wasn't actually dressing up, believe it or not. It was the smell. I remember walking home from school one October afternoon, and the air just smelled different. It had that crisp, cool autumn feeling mixed with the very faint, sweet, smoky scent. And then I saw it. My neighbor, Mr. Henderson, was on his porch and he was carving a pumpkin. He had this huge, bright orange pumpkin, and he was carefully cutting into it with a small knife. The smell of fresh pumpkin flesh mixed with the cool air, that's what stuck with me. It was like magic.
Oh, that's such a vivid memory. The smells of autumn are truly something else. You just used a really useful word there, carving. So for our learners, when David says Mr. Henderson was carving a pumpkin, what does that mean? To carve something, carve, means to cut it into a specific shape, often from a larger piece of material like wood, stone, or in this case, a pumpkin. Think of it like a sculptor working on a statue, but with a knife and a big orange squash. It's not just cutting, it's cutting with the intention of creating an artistic design. The stress is on the first syllable, car. It's like star, but with a C at the beginning. A simple synonym for carving in this context might be shaping or cutting out a design. You can carve wood, you can carve a turkey at Thanksgiving, or you can carve a beautiful design into a piece of soap.
Exactly. And that's what he was doing. He was making a face on the pumpkin. And seeing that for me was the official start of Halloween. It wasn't about candy yet. It was about the creativity, the transformation. How about you, Eleanor? What's your earliest Halloween memory?
My earliest memory, it actually involves a little bit of fear, but the good kind. I must have been about 5 or 6, and my older brother, who loved to tease me, convinced me that witches were real and that they flew around on their brooms on Halloween night looking for naughty children. I remember looking out my window, totally convinced I would see a witch silhouetted against the moon riding her broomstick. Of course, I never did, but that image of a witch on a broomstick, that's my core Halloween memory. And now, as an adult, I find it quite charming.
Oh, classic older brother move. That image of a witch on a broom is so iconic for Halloween.
It really is. And you just mentioned another classic Halloween item, David, a broom. For our listeners, a broom is a cleaning tool. It has a long handle and a brush made of bristles or twigs at one end. People use it to sweep dirt and dust off the floor. But in the context of Halloween, it's famous for being the magical transportation of witches. Think of it like a very old-fashioned natural vacuum cleaner. But for witches, it's like their personal flying car. The pronunciation is pretty straightforward. Broom, like the word room, but with a B at the start. There's no real stress to emphasize since it's a short single-syllable word. You could say a broom is like a sweeper, but broom is definitely the most common and widely understood word. You might also hear broomstick, which emphasizes the stick part of the broom, especially when talking about witches.
That's a great explanation, Eleanor. So, those are our initial memories. Fast forward to now, what's your favorite part about getting ready for Halloween? Is it the decorations, the candy, or something else?
Oh, for me, hands down, it's getting the house ready. I absolutely love to decorate. My husband thinks I go a little overboard, but I enjoy turning our home into a spooky wonderland. I put up spider webs, hang fake bats from the ceiling, and even have a few animatronic ghosts that light up and make noises when someone walks by. It's all about creating that eerie, fun atmosphere.
I can just imagine your house, Eleanor. Sounds like a lot of fun for the trick-or-treaters. You know, that word decorate is something we do for all sorts of holidays and celebrations, not just Halloween.
Absolutely, David, and it's a very common verb in English. To decorate, deck or rate, means to make something look more attractive by adding things to it. When I decorate for Halloween, I'm adding spooky items to my house to make it look festive and fun for the holiday. Think of it like putting on accessories to make an outfit look better, or adding paint and furniture to make a room look nicer. The stress is on the first syllable, deck. Say it with me. Deck-a-rate. You can decorate a cake with frosting. You can decorate a Christmas tree with ornaments. Or you can decorate a room with new paintings. Synonyms include adorn or embellish, but decorate is the most common and simple for our purposes.
Speaking of decorations, I tend to go a bit more traditional. I love the classic elements, like pumpkins, sure, but also those straw bales and corn stalks. They just scream autumn to me, even more than Halloween itself. I put them on my porch, maybe a few mums, and that's usually the extent of my outdoor decorating. It gives a really rustic harvest feel.
Oh, the straw bales. That's a lovely touch, very autumnal. And a bale is a good word for our learners. A bale, is a large, tightly bound bundle of material, often straw, hay, or even cotton. When David talks about straw bales, he means those big rectangular or round blocks of dried straw that farmers often make after harvesting their crops. They're super common in the countryside. Imagine taking a huge pile of dry grass, squishing it all together really tightly, and then tying it up so it stays in that big block shape. That's a bale. The pronunciation is just like the word sail, but with the B at the beginning. Bale. There's no tricky stress here. You could think of it as a bundle or a pack of something. But bale specifically refers to that large compressed block.
Exactly. And those give the perfect backdrop for my simple Halloween setup. But the real fun, for me, comes when we start talking about costumes. Eleanor, what's the most unforgettable costume you've ever worn or seen someone wear?
Oh, David, that's a tough one. There have been so many amazing costumes. But I think the most unforgettable one I saw was a couple who came to a Halloween party dressed as salt and pepper shakers. They were actual giant shakers, one white and one black, and they had little S and P signs on them. They even made shakers out of their hats. It was so clever and original, And they couldn't walk very easily, which made it even funnier. They really put a lot of effort into it.
That's brilliant. Salt and pepper shakers. That certainly sounds like a lot of effort went into that.
It truly did, David. And that word effort is something we use all the time. Effort means the physical or mental energy that you use to do something. So when I say they put a lot of effort into their costumes, it means they used a lot of energy, time, and thought to make them. Think of it like trying really hard to lift a heavy box. That takes physical effort. Or studying for a big exam. That takes mental effort. The stress is on the first syllable, F. It's like saying fret, but with an E sound. A good synonym for effort could be hard work or exertion. You can make an effort to be on time, or you can put effort into learning a new skill.
I admire people who put that much effort into their costumes. My costume philosophy has always been, let's just say, minimalist. One year I went as a ghost, which basically meant I threw a white sheet over my head and cut out eye holes. Very low effort, I know, but effective in its simplicity.
Sometimes simple is best, David. But speaking of costumes, one thing I've noticed over the years is how much people enjoy embodying different characters on Halloween. It's like for one night, you can be anyone or anything you want to be. You see everything from superheroes and princesses to scary monsters and historical figures. It's a wonderful escape.
It really is. It's a night where you can literally step out of your own shoes and into someone else's. That idea of being a character for the night is really key to the fun of Halloween.
Absolutely. So for our learners, a character has a few meanings. But in this context, when we talk about Halloween, it means a person or an animal in a book, play, movie, or in this case, someone you pretend to be. For instance, if you dress up as Spider-Man, you are embodying the character of Spider-Man. If you dress up as a witch, you are a witch character. Think of it like the people you see in a story. Each one is a character. The stress is on the first syllable, care. Say it with me. Character. It's like care, but with a K sound at the end of the first part. Synonyms could include persona or role, but character is perfect here. You might hear people talk about a strong character in a book or someone having a good character, meaning their personality and morals. But for costumes, it's about who you are pretending to be.
And the range of characters you see is incredible. Some people go for truly terrifying monsters, trying to scare everyone, which brings us to the whole idea of spooky and scary. Do you prefer costumes that are genuinely frightening or more on the fun, playful, spooky side?
Oh, definitely the fun, playful, spooky side. I appreciate the artistry of truly scary costumes, but I prefer the kind that makes you smile rather than jump out of your skin. I think Halloween is supposed to be a little bit eerie, but in a charming way, not a terrifying one. Like a friendly ghost, not a really aggressive monster.
Eerie is a great word for that feeling, Eleanor. It perfectly captures that slightly unsettling but still intriguing atmosphere.
It does, doesn't it? So when I say something is eerie, it means it's strange and frightening. It gives you a slightly uncomfortable or mysterious feeling, almost as if something supernatural is present, but it's not necessarily terrifying. Imagine walking through an old, quiet house at night and you hear a floorboard creak when no one else is around. That's an eerie sound. Or seeing a mist roll in suddenly on a quiet street. It makes you feel a little bit uneasy, a little bit spooked, but not screaming in terror. The stress is on the first syllable, ear. It's pronounced like ear, but with a y sound at the end. Synonyms for eerie could be creepy, unsettling, or mysterious. It's that perfect balance between spooky and intriguing.
That's a fantastic distinction. Eerie really hits that sweet spot of Halloween atmosphere. And speaking of atmosphere, one of the main things people do on Halloween, especially kids, is go trick-or-treating. That's the quintessential Halloween activity, right?
Absolutely, David. Trick-or-treating is perhaps the most well-known Halloween tradition. It's when children dress up in costumes and go from house to house, knocking on doors and shouting, "Trick or treat!" The idea is that the homeowner doesn't give them a treat, usually candy, then the children might play a trick on them. Though in modern times, the trick rarely happens. It's mostly about getting candy. Imagine a bunch of small superheroes and princesses walking around your neighborhood, holding bags and hoping to fill them with chocolate and lollipops. The stress is on trick and also on treat. Say it slowly with me. Trick or treating. It's a very specific phrase that describes this activity. There isn't really a single word synonym for it because it's a unique custom. It's the whole package: costumes, going door to door, and getting candy.
And for us adults, if we're not going trick-or-treating, what's your go-to Halloween activity, Eleanor? Do you have parties or do you just enjoy the general vibe?
I definitely enjoy the general vibe, but my husband and I usually host a small gathering. It's not a huge, elaborate party, just a chance for close friends to come over, enjoy some spooky snacks, and watch a classic Halloween movie. We always try to have a good spread of food, some sweet, some savory, but fits the theme. Maybe some mummy hot dogs or spider web dip.
A spread of food. That's a lovely way to put it, Eleanor. It makes me think of a big table laden with all sorts of delicious things.
Exactly. So when I say a spread of food, it means a large and varied arrangement of food, typically laid out on a table for people to choose from. It implies abundance and variety. Think of a buffet where you have many different dishes and drinks available. It's not just one dish, it's a whole selection. The pronunciation is simple: spread, just like the past tense of spring or the word bread with an S at the beginning. No tricky stresses here. A synonym for a spread in this context would be a feast or a buffet. You can also talk about spreading butter on toast, which is a different meaning of the word, but uses the same root idea of distributing something widely. But with food, it definitely means a generous selection.
That sounds delightful. I tend to stick to giving out candy, but it's fascinating how Halloween has so many different layers and traditions beyond just the surface level fun. We've talked about costumes, decorating, and trick-or-treating, but what about the actual meaning of Halloween? Where did all this come from?
That's a really important question, David, because while it's a lot of fun, it also has deep historical roots. The actual meaning of Halloween is quite complex. Originally, it comes from an ancient Celtic festival called Samhain, which marked the end of summer and the harvest and the beginning of the dark, cold winter, a time of year that was often associated with death. People believed that on this night, the boundary between the living and the dead became blurred, and spirits could cross over. So the costumes and bonfires were originally meant to ward off evil spirits. The meaning of something is its purpose, its significance, or what it represents. If someone asks, "What's the meaning of life?" they're asking about its ultimate purpose. The stress is on the first syllable, mean. Say it with me. Meaning. It's like the word mean and then ing. Synonyms include significance, purpose, or interpretation. Understanding the meaning helps us appreciate the traditions more deeply.
That's such a crucial historical point. It really shows how ancient traditions can evolve over centuries. And the idea of warding off evil spirits is really interesting because it explains why some of the traditions are, well, a little bit scary.
It does, doesn't it? That phrase, warding off, is very useful. To ward off means to prevent someone or something unpleasant from harming or coming close to you. So in ancient times, people dressed in scary costumes and lit bonfires to ward off evil spirits, meaning they wanted to scare them away and keep them from causing trouble. Think of it like putting up a fence to ward off unwanted animals from your garden, or taking vitamins to ward off a cold. It's about protection, keeping something bad at a distance. The stress is on ward. The off part is pronounced like the off in turn off the light. There aren't single word synonyms that perfectly capture the word ward off, but you could think of it as repel, deter, or fend off. It's a very active phrase that implies a deliberate action to keep something away.
That's a great explanation, Eleanor. It really gives context to some of the more macabre elements of Halloween. It wasn't just for fun initially, it had a very serious protective purpose. And these days, while we still have the scary elements, it's largely evolved into a more lighthearted celebration, especially for kids. But one thing that has remained constant is the use of symbols to represent the holiday. Pumpkins, ghosts, bats, spiders, they all immediately make us think of Halloween.
They absolutely do. These symbols are so powerful because they instantly communicate the feeling and theme of the holiday. A symbol, say it with me, symbol, is a shape, sign, or object that is used to represent something else. So, a carved pumpkin is a symbol of Halloween. A white dove is a symbol of peace, or a heart shape is a symbol of love. These objects stand for something bigger than just themselves. Imagine a flag. It's a piece of cloth, but it's a symbol of a country. The stress is on the first syllable, sim. Say it with me, symbol. It's like swim, but with an M at the end. Synonyms include representation, emblem, or icon. Symbols are everywhere, helping us understand complex ideas quickly.
That's a perfect way to put it. And Halloween is just brimming with them. From the moment October starts, you begin to see these symbols everywhere, and it gets you into the spirit. Speaking of getting into the spirit, what about the actual activities people engage in? Beyond trick-or-treating, what are some common Halloween activities you see, especially as people get older?
Well, besides hosting a small gathering like I do, many adults attend Halloween parties, which are often themed. Some people go to haunted houses, which are attractions designed to scare you. And then there's the whole fun of choosing costumes, not just for kids, but for themselves. It's really about embracing the playful side of fright. The activities are what really bring the holiday to life.
Yeah, haunted houses can be genuinely terrifying. I remember going to one once and I actually screamed. I'm not afraid to admit it.
Oh, David, I can imagine. But you bring up a good point for our learners. When we talk about activities, we're referring to things that people do, actions or events. So trick-or-treating is an activity, going to a party is an activity, and visiting a haunted house is an activity. These are all the different things people engage in during Halloween. Think of it like a list of things on your to-do list. Each item on that list is an activity. The stress is on the second syllable, tiv. Say it with me. Activities. It's like active, but with ities at the end. Synonyms include events, pastimes, or pursuits. What activities do you have planned for the weekend? It's a very versatile word.
I'm sticking to handing out candy this year, which is an activity in itself, I suppose. But it's interesting how varied the activities are, catering to different age groups and preferences. And for kids, after all the trick-or-treating, the real prize is the candy, of course. That's the main motivation for all that walking around in a costume.
Oh, the candy haul. That's what every kid dreams of. And candy itself is a great word for our learners. Candy, refers to sweet food made of sugar or syrup, often mixed with other flavors or ingredients. Think chocolate bars, lollipops, gummies, hard candies, anything sweet and usually small. In American English, we just say candy. In British English, they often say sweets. It's that sugary goodness that makes kids' eyes light up. The stress is on the first syllable, can. Say it with me, candy. It's like can, as in can do it, followed by D. There's no real synonym that replaces candy perfectly, but you could think of it as confectionery if you want to sound fancy, though candy is what everyone uses.
And you mentioned the candy haul, Eleanor. That's a great little phrase for anyone talking about their trick-or-treating bounty.
It is, isn't it? A haul, Haul, in this context, means a quantity of something that has been acquired, especially illegally or by effort. So, a candy haul is the big amount of candy that kids collect after trick-or-treating. Imagine a fisherman pulling in a net full of fish. That's a fish haul. Or a criminal getting away with a lot of money. That's a loot haul. For kids, it's their treasure. The pronunciation is haul, just like ball with an H at the beginning. No tricky stresses. Synonyms include catch, booty, or winnings. It emphasizes the quantity and the effort put into acquiring it.
I remember sorting my candy haul after trick-or-treating, trading with my siblings for the good stuff. It was a serious business. But let's shift gears a little. We've talked about the fun aspects, the historical meaning, the activities. What about some of the more specific vocabulary we might encounter related to common Halloween imagery? For example, the idea of things being spooky. It's a word we hear a lot around this time.
Spooky is definitely a Halloween staple. When we say something is spooky, it means it's strange and frightening or suggestive of ghosts and spirits. It's similar to eerie, but perhaps a little more playful or cartoonish in its fright. A haunted house might be spooky, a ghost story can be spooky, or even just a dark, quiet room can feel spooky. It gives you a little chill, but usually not outright terror. Think of it like a friendly ghost rather than a truly terrifying monster. The stress is on the first syllable, spoo. Say it with me, spooky. It rhymes with rookie. Synonyms include ghostly, creepy, or eerie. It's a word that perfectly captures the gentle fright of Halloween.
And often these spooky things are found in places like a graveyard, which is another quintessential Halloween setting, right? All those tombstones and old gnarled trees.
Yes, a graveyard is definitely a classic spooky setting. A graveyard is a burial ground, especially one beside a church. It's a place where dead people are buried, marked by gravestones or tombstones. Imagine a quiet, solemn area with rows of stone markers, sometimes very old and overgrown with moss. It's often depicted in scary movies as a place where ghosts might appear. The stress is on the first syllable, grave. Say it with me, graveyard. It's like grave, as in serious, and then yard. A synonym for graveyard is cemetery, which is a more general term for a burial ground, not necessarily next to a church. Graveyards have a very specific, slightly older and more traditional feel to them.
And in those graveyards, you often see very old, sometimes crumbling tombstones. They add to that historical, slightly ominous atmosphere.
They really do. A tombstone, is a large, flat, inscribed stone standing or laid over a grave. It usually has the name of the person buried there, their birth and death dates, and sometimes a short message. It's essentially a marker for a grave. Think of a stone slab standing upright at the head of a burial plot. That's a tombstone. The stress is on the first syllable, tomb. Say it with me, tombstone. It's like tomb, as in King Tut's tomb, and then stone. A synonym for tombstone is gravestone or headstone. They all refer to the same thing, the stone marker for a grave.
And we have graveyards, tombstones, and then we have the creatures that might inhabit such places. The classic Halloween creature that instantly comes to mind for me is a ghost.
Ah, the classic. A ghost, is the spirit of a dead person or animal that is believed to appear to the living as a vague shape or form that can't be touched. People often describe ghosts as transparent or white, sometimes floating. They are often associated with haunted places. Imagine a sheet floating in the air or a faint, glowing figure that appears and disappears. The pronunciation is simple, ghost, like most, but with a G at the beginning. There's no complex stress here. Synonyms include spirit or phantom. Many cultures have stories about ghosts.
And speaking of other creatures, what about vampires? They've also become a huge part of Halloween lore.
Yes, vampires are definitely a classic. A vampire
is a mythical creature, typically a reanimated corpse, that is said to subsist by feeding on the blood of the living. They are often depicted as pale, elegant, and immortal, with sharp fangs. Think of Dracula, a very famous vampire. The stress is on the first syllable, vam. Say it with me. Vampire. It's like ham, but with a v, and then pyre. There's no single perfect synonym for vampire, as it's a specific type of creature, but you could think of them as bloodsuckers if you're being informal.
And you used a great word there, Eleanor, subsist. That's not a word we hear every day, but it's very helpful here.
It is, David. To subsist means to maintain or support oneself, especially at a minimum level. When I say a vampire subsists by feeding on blood, it means that blood is what they need to survive and live. They can't live without it. Think of a person who has very little money but manages to subsist on a few simple meals a day. They're just barely making it. The stress is on the second syllable, sist. Say it with me. Subsist. It's like sub and then sist as in assist. Synonyms include survive, live, or get by. It often implies a basic or difficult level of existence.
That's a very clear explanation. So vampires subsist on blood. And another creature that's often paired with vampires, especially in older horror stories, are werewolves.
Indeed, a werewolf, is a mythical person who changes into a wolf or a wolf-like human, typically during a full moon. They are often depicted as wild, strong, and dangerous, and unable to control their transformations. Imagine a person who, when the moon is full, suddenly grows fur, sharp teeth, and claws, and becomes a ferocious wolf. That's a werewolf. The stress is on the first syllable, were. Say it with me. Were, wolf. It's like where and then wolf. There isn't a direct synonym for werewolf, as it's a very specific creature. It's unique to its own legend.
It seems like Halloween gives us a chance to explore all these fantastical creatures and stories. And thinking about those transformations, the way a person changes into a werewolf, it's about a complete alteration. That's a powerful idea.
It really is. And often these transformations happen under the cover of darkness, which brings us to another classic Halloween trope, the haunted house. We mentioned them briefly, but let's dive into what makes a house haunted.
Oh, haunted houses are a whole category of spooky fun. I think for a house to be truly haunted, it needs to have a lingering presence, something unseen that makes itself known. It's not just an old house, it's an old house with a story, often a tragic one.
Precisely, David. A haunted house, is a house that is believed to be inhabited by ghosts. It's a place where supernatural events are thought to occur, like strange noises, objects moving by themselves, or cold spots. It's not just a house that looks spooky, it's a house that feels spooky because of these alleged ghostly residents. Imagine an old, creaky mansion where doors open and close on their own and you hear whispers when no one is there. That's a haunted house. The stress is on haunted and also on house. Say it with me. Haunted house. It's like haunt, as in to haunt someone, followed by id, and then house. There's no simple synonym for haunted house because it's a specific concept. It's a house that's believed to be occupied by spirits.
And speaking of those strange noises and cold spots, what about supernatural phenomena? That's what we're really talking about when we discuss ghosts and haunted houses, isn't it?
Absolutely. The supernatural, refers to phenomena that are beyond the scope of normal scientific understanding, often attributed to divine, magical, or ghostly forces. It's anything that seems to exist or happen outside the laws of nature. Ghosts, spirits, magic, prophecies, these are all considered supernatural.
Think of anything that can't be explained by science or reason. The stress is on the third syllable, nat. Say it with me. Supernatural. It's like super and then natural, but with the stress on nat. Synonyms could include paranormal or mystical. It's a broad term that covers a lot of mysterious things.
That's a very clear definition. It helps us understand the boundaries between what we can explain and what we can't, or what we choose to believe we can't. And often these supernatural stories are told around a bonfire on Halloween night, adding to the atmosphere.
A bonfire is perfect for storytelling. A bonfire, is a large outdoor fire typically lit as part of a celebration or to burn rubbish. For Halloween, it's often lit as a central point for gatherings, for warmth, and traditionally as part of the ancient Samayan festival to ward off evil. Imagine a huge pile of wood burning brightly under the night sky, crackling and sending sparks upwards. The stress is on the first syllable, bon. Say it with me. Bon, fire. It's like bond, but with an N and then fire. A synonym for bonfire could be a huge outdoor fire, but bonfire is the specific term used.
That image of a bonfire instantly transports me to a chilly autumn night, telling ghost stories. And speaking of stories, many of these tales revolve around the idea of a curse.
Oh, yes, curses are a classic plot device in horror. A curse, K-E-R-S-E, is an evil spell or a solemn utterance invoking a divine or supernatural power to inflict harm or punishment on someone or something. In simpler terms, it's like a magical bad luck charm that someone puts on you, or something bad that is believed to happen because of a specific action. For example, if a family has bad luck for generations, they might believe they are under a family curse. The pronunciation is simple, curse, just like nurse, but with a C at the beginning. No tricky stresses. Synonyms include hex or jinx, but curse often implies something much more powerful and long-lasting.
That's a clear explanation of something that can feel very abstract. And often, if you're trying to break a curse, you might consult someone who knows about magic, like a wizard or a witch.
Exactly. Witches, especially, are a big part of Halloween folklore. A witch, W-I-T-C-H, is a woman thought to have magic powers, especially evil ones. In popular culture, witches are often depicted wearing pointy hats, riding broomsticks, and sometimes having green skin. They might brew potions in a large cauldron. Think of the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. While the historical understanding of witches is very serious and often tragic, in Halloween, they're often portrayed in a more fun, slightly spooky way. The pronunciation is simple, witch. Just like the word witch, there's no complex stress here. Synonyms include sorceress or enchantress, though witch is the most common term for this specific character type.
And the male equivalent, a wizard, is also a classic magical figure, though perhaps less associated with Halloween specifically and more with fantasy stories.
You're right, David. A wizard, W-I-Z-A-R-D, is a man who has magical powers, especially in stories. They're often depicted wise, old, and powerful with long beards and robes, carrying staffs. Think of Gandalf from The Lord of the Rings or Merlin from the King Arthur legends. They use their magic for various purposes, often to help or guide heroes. The stress is on the first syllable, whiz. Say it with me. Wizard. It's like whiz and then erd. Synonyms include sorcerer or magician. Both witches and wizards belong to the realm of magic and the supernatural.
So we have all these magical elements, creatures, and symbols, and often these stories are meant to frighten us, to give us that thrill of fear that Halloween is known for.
Precisely, David. To frighten, F-R-I-G-H-T-E-N, means to make someone feel fear or alarm. When a ghost story is good, it can really frighten you. When you jump out and scare a friend, you are trying to frighten them. It's about causing that feeling of fear. Think of a sudden loud noise that makes you jump. That noise frightens you. The stress is on the first syllable, fright. Say it with me. Frighten. It's like fight, but with an R sound and then N. Synonyms include scare, terrify, or alarm. It's that basic human emotion of being afraid.
That's a very clear explanation. And sometimes when you're really frightened, you might want to hide. That's a natural reaction to fear, isn't it?
It absolutely is. To hide, HIDE, means to put something or yourself in a place where it cannot be seen or found. If you're really scared in a haunted house, your natural instinct might be to hide behind someone or something. Or if you want to surprise someone, you might hide behind the door. It's about concealing oneself or an object. The pronunciation is simple. Hide, like side, but with an H at the beginning. No tricky stresses. Synonyms include conceal or bury if it's an object. We hide from danger, we hide presence, we hide our feelings sometimes.
It's such a fundamental action and definitely comes into play during scary movies or haunted attractions. But let's move on to some of the specific creatures that are very popular around Halloween. Beyond ghosts and vampires, what about mummies?
Mummies are fantastic. A mummy, MUMMY, is a dead body of a person or animal that has been preserved, usually by embalming and wrapping in cloth, especially in ancient Egypt. In Halloween lore, mummies are often depicted as ancient, reanimated corpses wrapped in bandages, slowly shuffling along. Think of a figure covered head to toe in white strips of cloth, moving very stiffly. The stress is on the first syllable, mum. Say it with me. Mum-E. It's like the word mommy, but referring to the ancient preserved body. There isn't a direct synonym for mummy, as it's a very specific preserved body, but you could describe it as an embalmed corpse.
That's a great image, and usually mummies are found in ancient tombs or pyramids, adding to their mystique. And then there are skeletons, of course, another very common sight during Halloween.
Skeletons are everywhere on Halloween. A skeleton, skeleton, is the framework of bones inside a person or animal that supports the body. On Halloween, we often see plastic or decorative skeletons, sometimes hanging up, sometimes posed in funny or scary ways. It's the bare bones, literally, of a person or animal. Think of the bone structure you see in a science class, but sometimes with a spooky Halloween twist. The stress is on the first syllable. Skell. Say it with me. Skeleton. It's like shell, but with a K sound and then in. Synonyms for skeleton in this context could be bones or bone structure. It's a very basic representation of death, but often used playfully for Halloween.
And you can even get glow-in-the-dark skeletons, which adds another layer of fun. Speaking of things that come out at night, bats are a common Halloween animal. They're often associated with vampires, too.
Yes, bats are definitely a Halloween icon. A bat, B-A-T, is a nocturnal flying mammal with leathery wings, typically associated with darkness and caves. In Halloween decorations, you often see black cutout bats hanging from ceilings or trees, sometimes with glowing red eyes. They're mysterious and a bit creepy, but they're also really important to our ecosystems. The pronunciation is simple, bat, like the animal or the baseball equipment. No tricky stresses. There's no direct synonym for bat as it's a specific animal. They're often depicted in spooky settings.
And speaking of other insects or creatures that creep people out, spiders and their webs are also incredibly popular for Halloween.
Oh, the spiders. A spider, S-P-I-D-E-R, is an 8-legged arachnid that typically spins webs to catch its prey. For Halloween, fake spiders, often large and fuzzy, are placed in corners or on decorations to create a creepy effect. They're usually dark-colored, black or brown, and are often perceived as frightening due to their many legs and venom. The stress is on the first syllable, spy. Say it with me, spider. It's like sky, but with a P and then der. There's no single synonym for spider, as it's a specific type of creature. They're often depicted in spooky settings.
And a spider isn't complete without its web, which is another great Halloween decoration.
Exactly. A web, W-E-B,
is a net-like structure made by a spider from sticky threads used to catch insects. On Halloween, we often use fake, stretchy white material to create artificial spider webs that we drape over furniture, bushes, or doorways to make things look old and dusty and, of course, spooky. Imagine a delicate, intricate pattern of sticky threads designed to trap things. The pronunciation is simple, web, like the web on the internet. No tricky stresses. There's no direct synonym for web, as it's a specific type of creature. They're often depicted in spooky settings.
And spider isn't complete without its web, which is another great Halloween decoration.
Exactly. A web, W-E-B, is a net-like structure made by a spider from sticky threads used to catch insects. On Halloween, we often use fake, stretchy white material to create artificial spider webs that we drape over furniture, bushes, or doorways to make things look old and dusty and, of course, spooky. Imagine a delicate, intricate pattern of sticky threads designed to trap things. The pronunciation is simple, web, like the web on the internet. No tricky stresses. A synonym could be net or mesh, but web is specific to spiders.
So we've got all these elements, the creatures, the settings, the activities, but at the core of it, for many, Halloween is about celebrating the darker, more mysterious side of life in a fun way. It's about the macabre.
That's a perfect word for that, David. The macabre, M-A-C-A-B-R-E, refers to something grim or gruesome, dealing with or representing death in a strange, frightening, or unpleasant way. When we talk about the macabre elements of Halloween, we mean the things that focus on death, decay, and the gruesome, like skeletons, coffins, or very gory costumes. It's about finding a strange kind of fascination in the unpleasant or horrifying. Think of a very dark painting depicting death. The stress is on the second syllable, ka. Say it with me. Ma-ka-bra. It's like ma, and then ka as in car, and bra. Synonyms include ghastly, gruesome, or morbid. It's often used to describe art or literature that has a dark, unsettling tone.
That's a great explanation. It's that controlled fright, that exploration of the dark side that makes Halloween so unique. And to enhance that feeling, sometimes people use special effects.
Oh, yes. Special effects are key to a good scare. Special effects, S-P-E-C-I-A-L-E-F-F-E-C-T-S, are illusions or visual tricks used in films, television, and theatrical productions. For Halloween, special effects could be anything from smoke machines and strobe lights to elaborate makeup that makes someone look like a zombie, or sound effects that make eerie noises. They are used to make things look more realistic or more fantastical. Imagine watching a movie where a monster suddenly appears. That's often done with special effects. The stress is on spe and special and effects and effects. Say it with me, special effects. There isn't a single synonym as it's a specific term for creating illusions, but you could think of it as visual tricks or illusions.
And those special effects really bring the whole experience to life, or to undeath, depending on the theme. But let's talk about the specific types of clothing people wear for Halloween. They're not just any clothes, they're costumes.
That's right, David. Costumes, C-O-S-T-U-M-E-S, are sets of clothes worn by an actor or by someone dressing up, especially for a party or a play. On Halloween, people wear costumes to transform into a character, whether it's a superhero, a monster, a historical figure, or even a talking vegetable. It's about pretending to be someone or something else for a fun night. Imagine a child dressed as a tiny superhero, complete with the cape and mask. The stress is on the first syllable, cos. Say it with me, costumes. It's like boss, but with a K and then tombs. Synonyms include attire or outfit if you're being formal, but costume is a specific word for celebratory or theatrical dress.
And within the realm of costumes, you have so many different themes. People might go for a horror theme, a superhero theme, or even something historical.
Absolutely. A theme, theme, is the subject of a talk, a piece of writing, a person's thoughts, or an exhibition. In the context of Halloween, a theme is the central idea or concept that guides the costumes, decorations, and overall atmosphere of a party or event. For example, a haunted carnival theme might involve clowns, fortune tellers, and eerie circus music. It gives everything a unifying idea. The pronunciation is simple, theme, just like team, but with the TH sound at the beginning. No tricky stresses. Synonyms could be subject, topic, or motif. Having a theme makes planning a party or choosing a costume much easier and more cohesive.
That's a great way to think about it. It gives a sense of direction to all the creative energy. And often, if you're attending a themed party, you might need an invitation.
That's a practical word for our learners. An invitation is a written or verbal request inviting someone to go somewhere or to do something. So, if you're having a Halloween party, you'd send out invitations to your friends. It's a formal or informal way of asking someone to join you. Think of a card you receive in the mail asking you to a birthday party. That's an invitation. The stress is on the third syllable, te. Say it with me. Invitation. It's like invite and then tation. A synonym could be a request or a summons, but invitation is specific to social gatherings. We send invitations, we accept invitations, we decline invitations.
So once you have your invitation and your costume, you're ready for the celebration. And a big part of the celebration, especially for adults, is the party.
Oh, yes, the party. A party is a social gathering of people for entertainment, typically in a private house or in some other informal setting. Halloween parties are usually lively with music, food, costumes, and lots of conversation. It's a chance for people to socialize and have fun together. Imagine a room full of people laughing, talking, and dancing, all dressed up in their Halloween best. The stress is on the first syllable, par. Say it with me, party. It's like car, but with a P and then T. Synonyms include gathering, celebrations, or social events. Parties are a common way to celebrate holidays or milestones.
That sounds like a lot of fun. And often at parties, you'll have some kind of entertainment. It could be music, games, or even a fortune teller.
Exactly. Entertainment is the action of providing or being provided with amusement or enjoyment. At a Halloween party, the entertainment might be a DJ playing spooky music, a costume contest, or even just good conversation and laughter. It's whatever keeps the guests engaged and happy. Imagine a movie you watch or a concert you attend. That's entertainment. The stress is on the third syllable, tain. Say it with me. Entertainment. It's like enter and then tainment. Synonyms include amusement, diversion, or recreation. We all need a little entertainment in our lives.
And a common form of entertainment, especially with the spooky theme, is telling ghost stories.
Oh, absolutely. Telling ghost stories, is a classic Halloween pastime. These are tales about ghosts or other supernatural beings, often told to frighten or entertain. They're usually told in a dramatic way, sometimes around a campfire or in a dark room to create a sense of suspense and fear. Imagine sitting in a circle with friends, listening to someone tell a chilling tale about a haunted house. That's a ghost story. The stress is on ghost and also on sto in stories. Say it with me, ghost stories. There isn't a single synonym for ghost story, as it's a specific type of narrative, but you could call them spooky tales or supernatural narratives.
And speaking of fear, sometimes these stories can be truly terrifying.
That's a stronger word than frightening, David. To be terrifying means to be extremely frightening or alarming. Something that is terrifying makes you feel extreme fear, possibly causing you to scream or want to run away. It's beyond just feeling a little bit scared, it's truly horrifying. Imagine watching a horror movie that makes you jump out of your seat and keeps you awake at night. That movie is terrifying. The stress is on the first syllable, tear. Say it with me, terrifying. It's like terrible, but with a fying. Synonyms include horrifying, petrifying, or dreadful. It's a very intense level of fear.
That's a good distinction. Terrifying goes a step further than frightening. And sometimes these terrifying experiences leave a lasting impression.
They certainly do. An impression is an idea, feeling, or opinion about something or someone, especially when formed without conscious thought or on the basis of little evidence. When I say a terrifying experience leaves a lasting impression, it means it stays in your memory and affects you for a long time. It leaves a mark on your mind. Think of meeting someone new and having a strong first impression of them. The stress is on the second syllable, presh. Say it with me, impression. It's like im and then pression. Synonyms include feeling, effect, or impact. Impressions can be good or bad, but they always involve something making a mark on your thoughts or emotions.
That's a really valuable word for describing how experiences affect us. And often, these impressions are formed by what we perceive.
Exactly, David. To perceive means to become aware of or conscious of something, to interpret or look on someone or something in a particular way. So how you perceive a ghost story, whether it's truly terrifying or just a bit spooky, depends on your own interpretation and awareness. It's about how you experience and understand something through your senses or your mind. Think of seeing a blurry image and trying to perceive what it is, or perceiving someone's intentions. The stress is on the second syllable, sieve. Say it with me, perceive. It's like per and then sieve as in receive. Synonyms include understand, recognize, or discern. Our perceptions shape our reality.
And sometimes our perceptions can be influenced by our beliefs, especially when it comes to the supernatural.
A good mystery is essential for a compelling, spooky story. A mystery is something that is difficult or impossible to understand or explain. In Halloween stories, there's often a central mystery. Who is the ghost? Why is the house haunted? What is the secret? It's something that you want to solve or unravel. Think of a detective novel where there's a crime and the detective has to solve the mystery of who did it. The stress is on the first syllable, miss. Say it with me, mystery. It's like miss and then tery. Synonyms include puzzle, enigma, or riddle. We're naturally drawn to mysteries because we want to find the answers.
That's a great explanation. And the desire to solve a mystery, to understand the unknown, is a very human trait. But sometimes, when it comes to Halloween and the supernatural, things remain unexplained.
That's true, David, and that's often what makes them even scarier.
Halloween is definitely an experience designed to get your heart racing. And at the end of the day, it's about making memories.
Absolutely, David. That's what holidays are all about. Memories are things remembered from the past. All these Halloween experiences, the costumes, the candy, the parties, the scares, become cherished memories that we look back on. They're the thoughts and feelings of past events that stay with us. Think of a special birthday party you had as a child, or a wonderful vacation. Those are fond memories. Our memories shape who we are and give us a sense of our past.
Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. It really means a lot that you chose to spend your time learning with English Made Easy. If you found even one idea here useful, please give this video a like. It helps more learners just like you discover our channel. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss our next lesson, tip, or practice session. When you support the channel, you're not just helping it grow, you're also helping us create even more free content for learners all around the world. Together, we're building a community where English becomes easier, step by step. I'd also love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know your biggest challenge in learning English. Your feedback helps me create videos that truly match your needs. Thanks again for being part of English Made Easy. Keep practicing, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next video.